Hello, everyone. Welcome back for episode two of the New Metal Podcast. I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm Connor. And today, before we even get into anything else, we want I want to talk about a good friend I met. His name, you can call him B. And he has his own tattoo parlor going through Instagram. So if you want any fresh ink, make sure to check him out. We'll leave his Instagram link in the comments below.
All right, now let's get into some news and rock and metal over the last few weeks.
Yes, yes. All right. Spirit Box's lead singer, Courtney LaPlante, has been featured on ABC News's Live Prime, and which she was able to talk about their new album, Tsunami Sea. Honestly, in my opinion, really good album. I've already listened to it. I don't know about you, Zach. But something else that Courtney LaPlante has done in the past couple weeks, she made an appearance at Coachella with Megan the Stallion, which is a combination I didn't expect. I wasn't sure if they were friends or not, but it apparently was really cool. So
Yeah, she's showing up everywhere. ABC News, Coachella. This is crazy. All this media exposure. All right,
I can
now
agree.
Linkin Park. They leaked a new song. Releases Friday, April 25th, Unshatter. And this was huge because within a day, they got 250,000 likes on Instagram. Now that is some serious hype.
Exactly. Now, me personally, I know I'm gonna be staying up till the midnight before and listen to it the second it drops.
Oh
But
yeah.
something else about Coachella I think I should wrap back to is Dave Grohl performs at Coachella with the LA Philharmonic Orchestra, performing some of a couple hits such as Everlong and a couple others.
That's pretty cool. That sounds all these metal artists at Coachella. That sounds pretty historic. But you know what's gonna get into history? Metallica. That's why they're making a documentary. Metallica saved my life. We'll see when that releases. Well, we can learn about the band if there's any stories they haven't told yet.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I know I'm gonna go see it, or at least watch it from home, either or, whichever comes out first. Now, some of our older news before we get into the brand spanking new news is something I wanted to talk about was the Devil May Cry video game being made into a show. And their soundtrack that they made for this show is stacked with different bands. They have Evanescence making an original song called Afterlife for the show, Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Rage Against the Machine, Crazy Town, and Green Day make an appearance. Speaking of Green Day, also made an appearance at Coachella, just
Oh,
headlined even.
and yeah, that TV show would be worth it to watch just for the soundtrack alone. Even if I was blindfolded, I'd still watch that show just for the songs. But
Exactly.
talking about big songs, Audio Slaves Like a Stone, which is a classic and a must for any playlist, rock or metal, has landed in the Billboard's top 10 hard rock streaming songs for the first time since its release over 2 decades ago. And it's back on the top 10.
That's crazy to me. The fact that like according to what I've read is that this is like its first big time making it to the top 10. That's just I don't know how that hasn't happened before. This song's amazing song, very emotional. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, and we all know it deserves it, but the question, why now?
Exactly.
All right, and that leads us into our main topic for the day. We want to talk to you all about grunge metal, just an overview over the subgenre because metal is so diverse and there's so many different aspects and subgenres we can cover and listen to. But we want to start it off with grunge.
I can agree. The reason I think grunge metal is so different that everyone like you can tell what grunge metal is and what grunge metal isn't is because it fuses elements of punk rock and heavy metal and also incorporates influences from some sort of newer indie rock.
Yeah, I know a lot of us like listening to some of that early 2000s punk stuff like Green Day you mentioned, but this is able to fuse that with the heavy metal sound that we know and which is really good and gets on the emotional side, it's always angst-filled, introspective, so dealing with themes of like emotional isolation or on the more positive side, a desire for freedom. And that really just goes into how much emotional content is in grunge metal songs. It's not just surface level and shallow. It really goes in there, gets deep.
I can agree. I can agree. From my personal experience listening to grunge songs, I can agree completely. Down in a Hole, Nutshell by Alice in Chains are just a couple examples. But it's also a sub pop marketed. It's also sub pop marketed. The style like shrewdly. it encouraged media outlets to describe them as sort of a Seattle sound, which is why it's called grunge.
Yeah, and just like the some of those classics that define the genre, people like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. You mentioned Alice in Chains. There's also Stone Temple Pilots. These guys are the titans of grunge, and they really have made the genre what it is.
Exactly. There's a reason that Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains are known as the big four of grunge metal. And of course, you can't forget about Stone Temple Pilots because Stone Temple Pilots are just great.
Oh yes, they're the honorable mention in the Big Four. The Big Four are really five, but it's still the Big Four.
Exactly. It's really the big five, but it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, something else that I think really makes grunge metal stand out from a whole bunch of different other genres of metal, and another reason I like it so much is grunge guitarists basically just straight up rejected the virtuoso of shredding a guitar solo that had become a center masterpiece of like heavy metal songs such as like Metallica or Slayer or some other heavy hitters or thrash hitters. And instead, they opted for a melodic blues inspired solos, focusing on the song and not the guitar solo.
Yeah, it's really just a way of embracing the melody and the emotion that they're on, and not going into that guitar solo. And guitar solos are great for really hyping up the audience, getting a lot of good sound out there, but that's not grunge. Grunge
It,
takes a different approach.
exactly. And there's grunge songs that can hype up the audience. There's grunge songs that make you just want to get down in your feels. For example, the opening to Them Bones, just the
Oh,
screaming ah, get everyone I know who's heard that song goes crazy when that happens. Speaking of certain songs, Zach, is there any particular grunge song by a certain grunge rock, grunge metal band that you would say is your favorite?
oh. I mean, we're going for I mean, Alice in Chains, you cannot forget the Rooster. The Rooster is, especially with just that military context that it's about, like that speaks to me, but also just the sound overall. It just has such a cool factor that I can't get past.
Exactly, I can agree. And not to mention, I believe The Rooster was written about Jerry Cantrell's dad, about his time in the war. So
Wow.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. What about you, Connor? What are your must listen to grunge songs?
Must listen to grunge songs. Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. By Nirvana, I think my favorite Nirvana song, depending on how you're feeling, is either No Apologies. Yeah, probably No Apologies, just because it's got that melodic sound that we mentioned, but it also gets rough and gritty at parts. So you can really experience like the emotion put into the song. I think by Pearl Jam, my favorite one is Black, which is also a very emotional song if you haven't heard of it. Very good. Very good listen. Soundgarden, uh, can never skip on Black Hole Sun as well as Fell on Black Days. Gotta love it. Just Chris Cornell's vocals are amazing. Alice in Chains, this one's probably the hardest because this is my personal favorite out of them all. I don't think I've listened to a necessarily bad song by Alice in Chains. Now, of course, there's some that are not as good as others, but I would think one of my favorite is We Die Young by Alice in Chains. From Stone Temple Pilots, Plush, Creep, it's they have also a stacked lineup. I would highly recommend listening to songs from all of those bands.
Oh yeah. And now those are songs whose names we're sharing openly. Now it's time to talk about songs we're not going to name right off the bat. And of course, I'm referring to our Song of the Week trivia game.
Exactly. Last week I stumped Zach, but this week I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, let's see. All right, Zach, you want me to take it away or you want to take it away?
Take it away, Connor.
All right. So, my first hint is there's a number in the name of this band. Now, it's not put as a numerical number. It's spelled out within another word. Okay. All right. Some lyrics from the song consist of, let's see here, a place of hope and no pain, perfect skies with no rain, can leave a place but refrain because we've been waiting for you.
Oh.
And if that hasn't given it away yet, the album that this song is off of, it contains the same name as the band themselves.
All right.
And
Well, of course, you're talking about Avenged Sevenfold. We got ourselves Afterlife.
he didn't even have any hesitation, folks. And yeah. All right. Now it's his turn to get back at me from last week. All right, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, let's just say, however many days of the week there are, there is that number in the name of this band, which might be familiar given what we just talked about.
Oh, I see. I see.
But for the song itself, it comes with this is kind of two hints in one, where
Ooh.
the there's a line in this song that says "A City of Evil." Now this is the title of the album, but it is also the only song in the album where that line appears explicitly.
I already know what he's talking about, folks.
Now, those are kind of your two hits in one because it's from the album and the song. So, what do
All
you
right.
got?
So the song is Beast and the Harlot from the City of Evil album.
Yes.
That song is amazing, melodic, and hard thrashing at the same time. It's that song, beautiful song. Both of those songs are beautiful songs. I would highly recommend listening to those if you haven't yet.
All right. Well, that concludes our trivia for the songs of the week. A lot of Avenged Sevenfold. Before we close out for today, I want to give a little trailer for next week. We're going to have a very special guest, our friend Adam from high school. After he graduated that December, he joined a band, the Sundog Knights. They got their own Spotify, they got their own gigs, they have it all. And we'll be able to talk to him about what it's like to play, what it's like to get a gig, and some more questions that we'd like to ask, all in the next episode.
Alrighty. And so I think that wraps up today's episode. And remember, everyone listening out there, to stay new and keep being metal. We'll see you in the next episode.